welcome, welcome. It's been a minute since Conversations with Celena been live, and I'm so excited. I'm chilling. We are doing this in a relaxed, comfort, impromptu type of a situation because there's a story behind why we live right now. But I'm excited about it because it has truly been a minute, and I love doing this. So that means when I have a guest who is my friend that says, let's go live, I'm like, okay, when you want to go? So originally we said Friday, then Thursday. Then it's like, you know what? Let's do it. And so when people have a testimony that they need to share, like that's what this platform is for. So we're here for it. I'm excited about it. Myiah has been my guest numerous times, and when she shuts it down, she shuts it down. So when she ready, you better be ready. Her yes means yes, her no means no. And so when she said yes, I said go. So that's how we are tonight. And I'm just gonna let her come in her own way. The title of it tonight is Shutting Down the Guilt and the Shame. Shutting down the guilt and the shame. So Myiah, welcome back to Conversations with Celena, girl.
Hey,
Hey, Sunshine, my co-host that gave me all them hard questions before.
you did great.
Woo! So, what brings you on tonight, ma'am?
Hmm. So it all started, I won't say like 2 weeks ago. Like God woke me up like at 4 o'clock in the morning, was like, get up and pray. So I just got up and started praying over the house, praying over my kid. And when I was done, I just sat on my bed and I began to just weep. And I must have been loud because my baby came in here and said, Mom, it's all right. It's all right. Came hugging me. I was like, it's okay, baby. And I asked God, I was like, God, why am I crying like this? It was like a soul weeping. You know that cry that comes from the soul. It was one of those, and I was crying for a long time. I'm like, so God, why am I crying like this? I didn't even know He said I'm removing something from you. And he was like, you gonna know later. So days passed, and I was at church Sunday, and God said, go lay at the altar at church. Well, at my grandmother's church. And I was like, no, Lord. These people gonna look at me crazy up in here. And it would not move. It was like, go lay on the altar. And I was wrestling with, I was like, God, please. Let me do it at my church, Lord. Let me do it at Miss Lanita church, God. They're not gonna look at me crazy at Miss Lanita church. And the spirit would not move. He said, go lay on the altar. And he was like, what if I told you your miracle is up there? Your healing is up there at that altar. What would you do then? And as soon as he said that, the preacher started preaching about miracles and healing and walking in your blessing. And one thing he said, when you run to God, you protected from the enemy. The enemy can't touch you. And before you know it, I was on that altar, laid out, crying. And
Myiah, they said it's echoing really, really bad. Like I couldn't hear it, but can you log on the other phone and see if it's better?
let me see. What about now? It's still echoing.
Is that still echoing? Is that better? Say
Hold
something, Myiah.
hold up, I'm trying to send a link.
Okay, that sounds better to me. Is that better? We waiting on a response to see if that's better.
Is that better, Miss Jennifer? I knew I heard an echo. Let's see. I still hear it though.
Oh, she say, is that better or is it still echoing? I think the yeses is better.
Yes is better, or yes is still echoing? I'm coming in on my other phone. Hold on.
Okay. It seems like it's a little bit better, but I can't tell. Am I echoing too? We might have to shut it all the way down and start over.
Let's see before.
Okay.
Still echoing? Now I don't hear it now. What about now, Miss Jennifer?
We working, Jennifer.
Display. How to change the display name? Okay.
Let me see.
Cause that ain't my name.
I got it.
Okay.
Okay. It's still doing it? I wonder what's wrong.
Is it? I could still hear it.
You can still hear it.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Hello there. Um, it's still echoing. So let me end it and then come right back. Or let me try to get out and come back and see.
Okay. If I could get this phone to sit up right. Jesus. Is it still echoing now, Miss Ruby? I don't hear it. Since Miss Sunshine gone.
The sunshine gone. Okay, let's see.
Miss Sunshine done left.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see if we can go from there.
The devil is alive, and his schemes ain't gonna work. It's still echoing. I can hear me.
You can hear it echoing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. Both Jennifer said, no, you good. Mama Ruby said, I don't hear it. Octavia said, it's fine on my end. Okay, let's rock and roll
Okay. Where I was on the altar.
on the altar. Talking about you ain't want to be on the altar.
Yeah, cause before that, before I went to church, I was listening to Shekinah Glory. Say yes, and I was like, God, whatever you want me to do, you got my yes. And when I went to church, you told me to lay on that altar. I was like, no, please, God, no. But I went to the altar and I laid on the altar, and I just felt weightless. And yesterday I was at work, and I was watching this movie called The Luckiest Girl in the World. And I was watching this movie, and it was about this woman who had been raped, and some other stuff happened in the movie. And after it was over, I heard the spirit speak to me, and he was like, I was healing a little girl in you. And I began to weep and cry and think about all the prayers that I prayed when I was in the street, when I was on drugs, when I was growing up as a kid. And I just seen her looking at me smiling like she would be proud of me. And I was just crying and crying and crying. And I was like, she'll be proud. never make a write another book, if I never do another interview, if I never get another job, if I never make the $1 million, but I am, if I never do anything else, she would be proud of me for standing up and healing and really just letting God lead me and direct me and heal me from all the broken pieces that I had been carrying. And so with that healing came no shame. It's no shame, and I'm healed from it. Some things I mentioned in my book, and I felt like I wasn't ready to talk about it then because it was shameful. And I would have people like throw it up in my face or to try to embarrass me or something. But I was like, no more, or I'm going to give somebody the ammunition to use against me, because the devil hide in darkness, and what drive out darkness is light. So I'm here to shed some light on some of the darkness in my life that I was holding on to and that people was trying to use against me. And I did mention in my book in the first chapter that I had an abortion at the age of 15 years old, but I never mentioned the abortion was for my cousin. And I was really embarrassed about that because it was right after Katrina and we had moved to Mississippi because I was living in New Orleans, and I had started dating this guy and we became intimate and I became pregnant. And then I found out, right, probably a week or two before that I was pregnant, and I found out he was my cousin. And I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed because you know how people be like, because that's the type of stuff that happened in Mississippi and this and that and blah, 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 blah. And people throwing it up in my face. So I was really embarrassed by that. But I'm not no more. I'm not no more because I'm healed from it. I'm healed from it and I'm moving on from it. And that's why I'm able to come on here and talk about it. And like I was telling you earlier, Miss Sunshine, is like never give nobody else the power to tell your story, because they'll try to use your story to condemn you. But who can tell your story better than them is you. You can tell your story. And I just don't want to have no more dark places. And I am going to write about it in my new book, The Blood Blocked It, A Closer Look. I am going to speak about some things. And also I want to tell anybody that's out there that's have some things in their life and in their past that they're ashamed for about, and people are holding it over their head and trying to use it to embarrass them or make them feel bad. Shed some light on it. Take your power back. Shed some light on it. Own up to what you did. You no longer are that person. When Jesus said it's finished, guilt was finished. Shame was finished. Disappointment was finished. Accept his redemption, accept his love, accept his mercy, accept his grace, and you keep it moving. And you keep letting him heal you, and you keep letting him change you, and you keep evolving into the person that God wants you to be, that he created you to be. And without those trials, without those stories, without those faults, without those bad decisions, you wouldn't be the person that you are. So don't never let somebody try to condemn you or degrade you or make you feel bad about something you did or something God has already forgiven you for. Miss Sunshine, don't let nobody condemn you. And also I wanna say, hold on, y'all, I gotta plug this in.
I'm still here. I was trying to take myself off to see if it would make it better.
Did it?
I think so. I'm not sure. I
Um,
think it went in and out, but when I logged on over here, hopefully I was on mute. I meant to be on mute. It seemed like it was okay on my phone, so I just started tagging a few people.
yeah. So to anybody on and anyone listening, people will try to use your past against you and condemn you. But like I said earlier, accept God's grace, accept His mercy, and know when He said it's finished on that cross, all of that stuff is finished. Walk in your newness, walk in His love, walk in His grace and mercy, and move on from it. Because people think they try to put this facade on you and put a load on you that since you in the spotlight, I do have a book like, oh, I got my eyes on you and you can't do nothing. But I'm a person, I'm still a human being. I'm gonna make mistakes. I don't always obey the yielding of the spirit. That's how I was sexually assaulted in September 2022. And I thought I was doing good. I was praying for someone and they told me they needed prayer and I let them in my space and they sexually assaulted me. And God told me not to do it. But I tried to convince God, God, they need help. They need prayer. God, they need this. They need that. And God was like, no. When I tried to convince God I was doing good, but He was trying to protect me. So, and I felt shame and guilt about that. Like, God, what people gonna think? How I let this happen to me? And I'm talking about molestation and I'm talking about being raped and I'm uplifting women and women telling me how they get free. How did I put myself in a position to go through this again? But with that healing, it comes freedom. It happened because I was disobedient. Did I think the person was going to do that? No. The person knew my past. This is someone who knows me. They knew I was raped as a child. They know my traumatic childhood. They know my past. So I never would have thought they did that. But God knew what was in their heart. God knew, and He did try to warn me. He did warn me. I ain't gonna say try. He warned me. But against my better judgment, my disobedience, not even better judgment, against my disobedience, saying what this person won't do, what they're not capable of, and Lord, I'm helping them. Like I'm trying to take, like I put myself in harm's way. And I wasn't gonna speak about it because I was embarrassed. But I'm shedding light in the dark areas. And not even that. It happened again. Not molestation, me being disobedient. I was trying to help another person. Me always trying to help. And my grandma had to remind me today, like, Myiah, you always trying to help. You not God. Sometimes all you can do for people is pray for people. Pray from them from where you at. You always try to overextend yourself, go above and beyond, trying to do. Myiah, give it to God. And I had to tell my grandma, you right. Because me trying to help again, like God, and trying to convince God, like God, I'm doing a good thing. You say help, you say do this, and this person needed somewhere to stay. And I was like, you know what? You can come stay with me after God said no. You can come stay with me. Come on, you can come stay with me, blah, 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 blah. Mind you, I have, what do you say? Within Christ has made us free. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, it has made us free and be not entangled with the yoke of bondage. And That's why I was feeling weightless. I told Miss Sunshine, I feel weightless. After I went laid on that altar, I feel weightless, and I didn't know what God was taking off me, what I was leaving at that altar. But the yoke of bondage is gone, and I feel free, and I'm going to talk about it. And no longer am I going to be ashamed about the things in my past. No longer am I going to let somebody else hold stuff over my head and try to tell my story better than me, or try to use my testimony as a weapon to weaponize me. I'm going to tell it, and hopefully this encourage someone else to just walk in their truth. Walk in their truth. Because when you hold on to things, they kind of weigh you down. You don't hold your head up as high as you should because of that guilt. You don't walk in rooms God prepared for you because of that guilt you holding on to. You don't walk in confidence. You don't walk in the full power that Christ has bestowed upon you and in you because of that guilt and shame you holding on to. So you right, Miss Octavia. And I was telling y'all about the person that tried to I was giving this person somewhere to stay. And as I've stated in my book, I have a murder charge. I was charged with murder, never convicted, in Mississippi. And this person tried to commit suicide in my house when I wasn't home. And this person knew I had charges, and they knew everything that was going on. But yet, and I was praying for this person while they was here, and I knew it was a spirit because after I found out everything, when I came in the house, this how it happened. When I walked in the house, I'm OCD. Everything is clean. I'm a real neat freak. I clean. I'm bleach, Lysol. So everything. I walked in the house, me and my daughter, and something was off. I never paid attention to the person's face. They was trying to, and God led me not to come home. I stayed out all day. I stayed out all day. I didn't come home till about 9 o'clock that night. So I never paid attention to the person's face when they were trying to help get the bags out of my car. But when I walked inside, like stuff was all over. And I looked in my kids' room, their beds was messed up. And like I said, I'm OCD. I know I cleaned everything. And I went in my bathroom and blood was everywhere. It looked like two men had been fighting in my house. And I was like, what happened in here? And the first thing they said was, ain't nothing happened. You must have did this. I mean, the toilet was broken. My steel decorations was bent and broken. So I went and asked my neighbor, like, was somebody else in my house? And she was like, no. And this person would never tell me what happened. But at this time, I'm like, you got to go. You got to go. You can't. You got to go. You got to go. And as I was cleaning up, I noticed my kid's bed flipped up, and I started to think. The Holy Spirit brought back to my remembrance conversations that was had. And one of the conversations, I was talking to this person. They said, you have a wall around you. And I was like, what? They were like, you have a wall around you. And not only do you have a wall around you, you have a wall around your daughter. But it never dwelled on me like what was going on, that it was the spirit within that person talking to me. And it was like, when you sleep and I try to touch you while you sleep, and it still never dawned on me, like, why you trying to touch me while I'm asleep? Why you watching me while I'm asleep, you know? And why you trying to touch my daughter? It didn't click to me. And it was like, but you have a wall around you. And you have a wall around your daughter, and I can't touch y'all. And I was like, yeah. And then the scripture came to me. I would be like a wall of fire around about you. And God was protecting me then. Even though I stepped outside of his covering and I was disobedient, he still protect me. And he is so gracious and he is so good. Until my last breath, I will praise the Lord. And as for me and my house, we gonna praise the Lord. And if you looking for freedom, if you looking for that fire that's gonna be around about you, that's gonna protect you and keep you and lead you and be a strong tower that you can run to in a time of trouble, and your shepherd that's going to fight for you, that's going to war for you, turn to God. And so as I got to the bottom of the story, just kept getting crazy. I called the person the next day, like, what really happened in my house? I was really puzzled about what went on in my house. And it was like I tried to kill myself. And then the story changed. Then it was like they was locked in the cage, and demons tried to do stuff to them. It was just like a crazy story. But I knew for a fact it looked like two grown 250-pound men was fighting in that bathroom. So I thought about it, like the first thing, it would have been tragic situation, and that would have been very traumatizing, not to me or and my child. It would have been very traumatizing to us if I would have came in here and found that person dead. But not only I was going to jail simply because whether it was suicide or not, I have a murder charge in Mississippi. The first thing they was going to do was investigate me to make sure it wasn't no foul play on my part. And with that investigation was going to come speculation, and people was going to talk and this and that, and that was going to tear me down. What God built and what he's building me down. And what my kids was going to go. It was just going to tear everything down. And this happened this year, and I was embarrassed to talk about that. And I was like, Miss Sunshine,
I'm here.
Miss Sunshine.
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh. She done knocked herself off. She'll click right back in. I think the echoing got better. I just put myself on mute and put her on solo so that she could share her testimony without interruption, or hoping the echoing would help. Okay, there she is.
I'm back. You can hear me?
I can hear you.
I had to let them in. But, and yeah, y'all, I was embarrassed about that because, Lord, I'm still going through this and still being disobedience. But that's what come with disobedience. But I learned the lesson. You can't take God's place. You can't take God's place. And whether we make the wrong choice or the right choice, he know what we gonna do already. He know what we gonna do already. And I learned you can't help everybody. Sometimes the only help you can give somebody is prayer. And that's the best help, because you're not God. I'm not God. Only God can change. Only God can really send the deliverance that person needs. And sometimes the only help you can give is prayer. And so I want to tell anybody out there with a platform and eyes are watching you and people are looking for you to, you're going to always be encouraging, but sometimes the encourager need encouraging. And don't let nobody make you feel like you're not going to mess up. And don't feel like above you above correction. And nobody can tell you nothing because you build this and you build that. Because every day is a learning process. No matter how old you are, you still can learn. Yeah, you're not above learning and you're not above correction. The minute you think nobody can't tell you nothing, the minute you think somebody can't correct you, that's the minute you lost. That's the minute you need to clock out. So don't let nobody hold no shame over your head. Don't let nobody hold no guilt over your head. This nobody is perfect. You gonna make mistakes. But with your mistakes, you ask God for forgiveness. You learn your lesson in them losses and you keep it moving and you apply what you never forget what you learned while going through your storm because that's exactly what you're gonna need. What you learn is exactly what you're gonna need in your next season. And it's a reason why you had to go through and learn the lesson the way you did. I'm hard-headed, so well, I was hard-headed because I ain't claiming that over my life no more. So that's why I have to learn stuff the hard way. It has always been like that. So God knew what it was going to take for me to learn everything that I learned. So with that, I'm taking what I learned through those troubles and through those trials, and I'm applying it to my life. And I'm free. I'm healed. I'm whole. And I'm happy. No more
And
dark.
leave me alone. I'm happy. Um, but I think like one thing that you said is people know, like they know what you've been through, and it's like it's that little crack for them to get in and try to use those things against you. And like you said, tell your story. Try to tell your story better than you could tell it, but can't nobody tell it like you can tell it. And you did an awesome job sharing. Just, I mean, completely transparent. And I know that in the past that may have been hard because of the guilt and the shame, feeling embarrassed, even though it's not your fault. You still have that guilt and that shame until you are healed from it, until you understand that, yes, it happened, like you accept that it happened, because that's the truth, but it's not your fault. Even in your disobedience, letting the person in, the rape is not your fault. You know what I mean? Like, if you are trying to help somebody and you're praying for them, no means no all day long. Like I was saying, it doesn't matter how you're dressed. People try to come at you like, well, maybe you asked for it. How? If I'm saying no, stop, no, stop, don't stop, like, what part of that is unclear? So I'm thankful that you shared because I
Yeah, and
know
one
this
of
go
my
bless somebody.
interviews that I did recently, the host was like, "Do you think you caused that upon yourself, or do you think people gonna think you you welcomed it by the way?" And I had to immediately correct the host, like, what somebody think about me is their problem. How I treat them and how I talk about them, that's my problem, and I'm gonna have to answer to God for that. That's why I treat all people the same. And I had to tell the host, like, no, no means no. People are gonna think what they want to think, but no means no. No one can ever welcome a rape. No one. No one. Like you said, I don't care if the person is butt naked
Running
running
down the
down the
street butt
street.
naked. Yeah, running down the street butt
No
naked.
means no.
No
Stop
means
means
stop.
stop. And I was so embarrassed about that. And while it was happening, I was praying, and it's like I went back to that little girl inside me, like, stop. Like, why you not stopping? And the look on this person's face, I just couldn't let them see that they took something from me. I just couldn't. I just couldn't. I didn't want them to see me cry because this person knew me. This person knew me. I trusted this person around my kids. I trusted this person. I trusted this person. So I never would have thought they would have done what they did. But as of today, I pray for that person. I pray for his daughters, that no harm come towards his daughters, and that they be shielded from any pedophile, any rapist, anything like that. That they have to experience no trauma, that they have a smooth life. And his daughter still call me to this day. I'll still do her hair to this day because it's not her fault. But as for her father, no, no, no. Would I ever bash him in front of her? No, I wouldn't even do that. I just pray for him and I pray for her, even though after everything was said and done, his remarks was sometimes you got to take what you want. And I'm in Christ and I wanted to kill this person. I did. And I had to ask God to forgive me, get that out of my heart, remove that from my heart because I knew it was sent to destroy me. And God did warn me about it. I knew it was sent to destroy me, but I forgive him. I forgive him. I forgive them. I forgive all of them. I pray for all of them. I pray for those that curse me. I do good by those that use me. My enemies are included in my prayers. I actually just got done praying for them before I got on this live, asking that they have an abundance of blessings. I want their blessings to overflow them. I want their blessings to chase them down. So I'm free. I'm free. I'm weightless. I no longer have that weight. I'm free. That's all I can say. New pieces, baby.
That's a
New pieces.
blessing. That's a blessing to be able to be free, especially, I mean, because you're so much younger than I am. And I'm happy. Like, I'm happy that you can be free 20 years before I was able to be free, you know? And I can't even specifically say that I feel weightless over here because my words don't flow as easily as yours flow. So I know there's still a process for me to go through just because um, I really, I don't know why it's so hard to just talk about it. Um, is there still guilt and shame? I don't really know. Like I feel like maybe it's still suppressed, maybe to where I just don't talk about it as much. But when I went to Iowa, like I had all my books and stuff sitting around, and so I feel like when I get there and I get settled, I'll be able to sit and try to journal. Not try, but do it because that's the season that I'm in. Like you asked me to make the flyer today, I made the flyer today. You asked me to let's go live today, I went live today. So I'm in that season of I don't have time to procrastinate anymore. I got to rent my house ASAP. So I need to get that done. I need to get my stuff out of here so my renter can get here so I can get back to Iowa, because that's the transition that I'm in, and I need to embrace it and utilize it to get to that next phase so that I can pop on here live and I can have a waitlist testimony the way that you just did, because it doesn't matter the age, older, younger, not even born yet, you are making a difference by your transparency, by your truth, by your willingness to just put it all out there. So now nobody has the power over you because you spoke your own truth. And then when you do that, you've already shed the light on it. So nobody can try to come from behind you and tell your truth. So it really, really blessed me. And I know that it's blessing our listeners. So I'm gonna get there. I'm glad you are already there.
Yeah, like you said, it do take some time too. And you don't want to just jump out there and say something and then when the live over, you have regrets like you want to go curl up under a rock. So definitely pray. But
Hmm. So let me
at
ask
the,
you this: why? I know you went to the altar, but just really being able to disclose it today, what was that? What was the point that you knew? I'm about to say this today, tomorrow, end of this week. I'm ready to tell it. Do you know what actually transpired to make you just be at that moment? Because a month ago, you weren't having interviews. 2 months ago, you were not having interviews. And every time I look up, you got another interview coming. And I'm thankful, don't get me wrong, because I'm so thankful you came to share on Conversations with Celena. Um, but what was it? Why now? And why so much? Like, I mean, it was like no holes barred. Here I go. I'm telling it all.
because we in the 8 month and 8 represent new beginnings. And as I walk into my new beginnings, I don't want to have all of that old stuff following me. I don't want nobody to feel like to even have a speck of a thought that they can ever try to embarrass me with anything. And I just want somebody, I'm doing it for the people that's still going through. I'm free. God can free you. I was so embarrassed by that I wanted to tell it so bad in my book about the abortion when I was 15, and I wanted to talk about that so bad, but I was embarrassed. And it feels so good not to be embarrassed no more that I could just stand on top of this roof and just scream it out. So I could say, I with the healing came freedom. So now I could just roll off my tongue. I'm not embarrassed no more. I don't have guilt no more. I don't have shame no more. And after yesterday and the spirit spoke to me and I seen that little girl smiling back at me, it's like I had to say, Lord, I hope I ain't getting ready to go on to glory, Jesus. Let me stay here longer because I just feel like I finally made her proud. And if anybody on here listening, as an exercise, go get a baby picture and talk to that little girl. And if you journal, if you in your journaling phase, write down what you would tell that little girl. And would she be proud of the person you are? And if your answer is no, she wouldn't be proud, do what you need to do to make her proud, to make you proud, to make God proud. So
And I can say I've had that experience because I was telling you there's this picture of me with a red dress, like it's a red and white checker type dress, and I got an afro puff on top of my head. I don't even know how old I was, probably 5 or something like that. I think it was a Head Start picture or something. And that was part of my healing because I could see that little girl with the afro puff with them big brown eyes, and it really brings tears. Like, that's something that will bring tears to you, looking at yourself as a little child saying, "It's okay. I got you now." You know what I mean? I will protect you now. Um, so I understand that. And even though I don't have that picture in my possession, I have a visual of it. And so I will talk to myself, the little girl on the inside of me, reminding me that you're more than what happened. You're more than what happened. And just because it was more than one and more than two and more than three that abused you, like, just with no regard, that doesn't define who you are. And so that's just important for people to know. So I definitely get that about the talking to the little girl on the inside of you, just reminding her and reassuring her how special she is and that you got her now.
Yep,
And the people that hurt you, baby, they wouldn't dare. Don't even come my way. Don't even try it. Yeah, you have no power over here. Whether I'm talking about it openly or whether I'm dealing with it privately, those days are over.
that's right.
So
That's right. Should be proud of you because you're making steps.
I think she would be proud of me. I think my grandmother would be proud of me. I hope she would be. So
Yep,
maybe not proud of all the things that I've done because, we get trifling along the way sometimes and do things that we're not proud of. But at the end of the day, you are becoming that person. We're evolving all the time. So, and that's one thing about people and man, they try to remember what you used to do. Like you said, being thrown up in your face and not letting you get beyond what you did 25 years ago. But you're a Christian, or but you don't let stuff go. You don't forgive. How does that work?
that's right.
Girl, I ain't mean to be sitting up here crying. Woo, Lord.
I cried enough for both of us yesterday. Baby, I was crying so hard.
That's how I was Saturday when that thing hit me in the eye. I just sat and I cried and I said, "Lord, I'm tired." But honey, I got that crowd. I released it and then I bounced right on back and got up and kept it moving. Drove 16 hours back on the Mississippi. So here I am. M.I. cricket letter I.
So I hope this live bless somebody. I wasn't meaning to ramble, but I was just trying to get it all out. I wrote about some of the stuff in my new book that's getting ready to come out one of these months in this year. New pieces. I'm gonna take a deeper look because I know a lot of people had a lot of questions and about the blood blocked it too. A closer look will be out 2024. So I'm talking about it.
And so many want to talk about it, but they're not there yet. And I hope that the freedom, the flyer said Freedom Friday. We over here on Testimony Tuesday, girl. But I hope the freedom is able to just be felt through the airways so that people can be more comfortable and see your bravery and just say, you know what, it's okay. It's okay to tell. It's okay to tell that I made a mistake. It's okay to tell that, I was molested. It's okay to tell that I was raped. And some people say, well, why you got to talk about all that? Listen, it's a journey, it's a process. And in order for other people, older, younger, not even born yet, to have a chance to live life differently, it's got to be told. The
Right.
rug has got to be pulled up, pulled back, thrown away, whatever. We can no longer sweep things under the rug because the goal is to let these talks become preventive measures so that what you're talking about doesn't happen. I'm not going to say that it's going to stop, but we want it to stop. We want to be able to be the reason that it decreased or stopped.
That's right.
So, because you have people say, oh, it ain't going to never stop. This ain't going to never stop. Well, with that attitude, it's not. Not talking about it, you're right, it's not. Because people are getting away with it every single day.
Yep. There is, but
And then they're being looked at and judged. Why are they behaving that way? Because they'll probably say, I act a certain way. That bougie broad over there, you know, not knowing that my self esteem was just non existent. But baby, I got some God confidence now. When you see me smile or when you see me behaving and walking and doing, it's because God is with me.
that's right.
It may have taken years for me to get to this point, but I'm just glad I arrived at that destination. I still have a ways to go because I can't just get it out. Like you said, you rambled and got it all out.
Hmm.
Girl, you had to
And
come on
then,
and do CPR on me.
and then I forgot about this. That Sunday after I laid on the altar, I was speaking with my little cousin, and she was just telling me some things, and I was like, "You grew up right on the side of me. Like, don't all my cousins was graduating college, and I was in the street doing God knows what, just messing up. But like I told her, your path is not their path. God called you to do something different. God wants you to be someone different. And just because life ain't going as you planned it, because the plans you made for your life not going is not his plan. And just know you gonna end up right where he wants you to be and right where you need to be. And I had to tell her, like, you looking at me and I got the books and I'm doing talk shows, I'm doing radio shows, and I'm doing podcasts, and you probably be like, she just got it all together. And I'm on here to tell you right now, I don't have it all together. Like I just said, this year somebody tried to kill himself in my house. Not even a full year ago. It make a year ago, September 24th. It make a year ago that I was sexually assaulted, raped by somebody that I trusted and that I love. So you still gonna make mistakes. And I don't never want to portray that I was the perfect person. I was a horrible person. I was horrible. I was horrible. And so many times when I'm telling my testimony, I say what the person did and what they did, but I was horrible myself. I would fight, I would cuss, I ain't have no, my self-esteem wasn't high, so I'm gonna tell you down. My mouth was lethal. I would tell a person anything. Listen, I was, thank God for change. I was, what? So a lot of that stuff was provoked. Some of those fights was provoked by me. Some of those, sometimes I was the abuser, and I don't know if I ever said this in an interview. I was the abuser sometimes. Sometimes I would start the fight. Sometimes I would, even though you're not supposed to put your hand, say, I don't care what a woman say, you're not supposed to put your hands on her. But sometimes it's wrong, men. Don't put your hand on a woman. But I can understand why they would fight me. If I'm talking about your dead grandma and your pawpaw them, because I didn't care, because I was just like that. The devil had his paws in me. I was like that. I would tell you anything to try to provoke you, because the end goal, I want to fight you. I want to fight you. I'm trying to get you riled up so I can fight you, because I was horrible. So I don't never want nobody to look at anybody and think they perfect, because no one is perfect. No matter how well I portray, how well I dress, how laid my lace fronts be, how well these eyelashes is put on, I am not a perfect person. I mess up too. I still don't listen. I'm gonna listen now. You can't pay me not to listen to God. I'm gonna listen. Let him tell me, no, don't go around that person. That person gonna look, their head gonna spin in my face. I'm gonna get out the way. But don't never think it's perfect. When you accept Jesus as your personal savior, the only thing perfect about your relationship is him and the forgiveness that he has freely given and the freedom that come with it, because you still gonna mess up. You still gonna mess up. It's not a perfect walk. It's a consistent walk. It's a daily forgiveness walk. That's why in the prayer, Jesus, when he was giving them an example of how to pray, he said, forgive me of my trespasses and forgive those that trespass against me. He knew every day you're going to need to ask for forgiveness, because ain't none of us perfect. I ain't. I wasn't perfect then, and I ain't perfect now.
Yeah, I'm not.
So people, and then people will try to put that on you. Like you have to be perfect. And I ain't finna lie to y'all. I ain't perfect. What's up, Dennis? That's right, Dennis. Messing up is a part of life. Dennis know. Me and Dennis went to high school together. That's my sister's best friend. I was horrible.
You say
Horrible.
horrible. I was horrible.
Thank God for change. Thank God for change. They see the end result, but the people that know me see me go through it. And I'm glad God used my life to show them that he could bring you through anything. If he brought me out, the worst of the worst of them, anybody can come out. So I'm just on here encouraging people, like, you gonna mess up, but get up. You gonna mess up, but get up. You gonna fall down, but get up. Just don't stop. Don't let what the devil sent to stop you actually stop you. Cry if you have to, but keep on moving. Scream if you have to, but keep on moving. Cause that rape was sent to stop me. I cried. I stopped moving. Like Miss Sunshine say, when she shut it down, she shut it down. I wasn't taking no interviews. I didn't want to talk to people. She had to call in and check on you. All right over there? I'm just checking on you. Like it really had put me at a halt, but I know it was some time I needed with God and to heal, because I thought I was healed from all of that. But that just brought up everything that was laying dormant in my heart. So I hope this live helps somebody to no longer walk in shame or guilt.
It
And some
helped
people
me.
they tooth their nose down on me because I spoke about the old. I don't want to say my name. I'm trying to think about what I named them in my book. What I named in test after test.
Huh?
What I named my boyfriend in test after test that got killed first.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what I named him, but I don't see nobody's name. When I disclosed his age that he was 50, baby, people started judging him and judging me. Even when I give my testimony now, but I'm free. Long as God and I know I'm doing what God want me to do, and I know He happy with me, and I know I'm following the steps He ordering for me. I can't worry about what people think. They gonna feel how they feel, and I treat everybody with respect, and I pray for everybody, and I try to be nice to people. I don't try. I am nice to people, even the ones that's not nice to me. So
Well, that was no reason to come after you. It doesn't matter what his age or his title or anything. We are not the judge, but for some reason or another, we really do feel like we are. Like we can really judge other people when God is looking at the heart. You looking at the outward person or what that person or what you think they did. And so that was wrong on so many levels. Um, to ask you the question about what people would think about you bringing it on yourself, that was wrong on so many levels. So I just sometimes you just be perplexed by the things that people say. And at this age, I feel like we all need to. We got two ears, right? So we're supposed to listen more and speak less, and try to think about what we're saying before we say it, because I think a lot of times we just say things that we've heard over time, and it's very insensitive to say, um, especially when that person is no longer here to defend themselves.
yeah, that was horrible.
But like you
Especially I
said,
felt
whatever
like I
their
could.
problem is, that's their problem.
Yeah. And if you on here and you have a podcast, don't never do that to your guests. Like try to make them feel condemned or no matter what you think about their testimony, this person is sharing something that's gonna help somebody else get free. Don't ever don't do that. Have grace, have compassion. Thank God that they came out of it. And show the same grace God showed you. Because you got some stuff in your past you're not proud of. We
That's the
can't
truth.
judge nobody.
That's the truth. I hope
Nobody.
I don't do anyone like that. That's never my goal.
You don't. I would have told you. You know I would have.
Yeah, no. Because I got so much junk, like, I literally be looking at my closet saying they represent how my for real life is. Like, you got to push your foot and shove that stuff up in there before you close the door. I mean, they're cleaned out now, but it really represented the skeletons and stuff that's in there. And you really do concern yourself sometimes with how people would see you if they knew. And they probably know. They probably already know. You just haven't confirmed it, so it hadn't come out your mouth yet. But, because I remember one of my situations, this lady, she's already passed away, but she used to ask me, is he doing anything to you? And I'd be like, no, ma'am, why you ask me that? You know, not really knowing what to say, because you don't want to get people in trouble. And still, to this day, keeping a closed mouth. Why? I don't know.
Don't want to get people in trouble. Cause I ain't call the police either. But I was thinking of, I ain't call the police either. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, yeah. We don't need to say, don't need to say nothing else on the live. But yeah, like you, yeah, girl. Listen, that book that I'm the co-author in is a short little snippet. Nobody would know the tears that were shed just to get that out. Like birthing pains are for real pains. And that's probably why I haven't done it again. Because I'm like, that was intense. And just to read it, you wouldn't think that it was so intense. But because it hadn't been dealt with, girl, I never even really talked about it. So to come calling it a rape last year, that was success to me. I'm like, what? Go ahead on, sunshine. You making progress. But two of the other authors were just there praying with me and encouraging me. So, you know, you never know what you have to go through behind the scenes. So,
That's
like you
right.
said, it's not all what it looks like. Like we get on here and you smile and you got however you were saying your hair all laid down and got it together, looking like you got it together. But in reality, you're going through the fire. But you have to go through the fire in order to be able to come out and talk about it the way that you are. So,
Yeah. And don't feel bad because I was violated by four different people. One of them, two of them was family members. Two of them was people I trusted, and one of them was a woman. So it's a lot, but I don't hold on to that shame or that pain. I pray for them. I try to have empathy for them. I try to think about their situation, even though nothing they did or can do could make it right. I try to have empathy, like what can possibly be on this person's mind to make them do that? Because people say up when you molested, you become the molester. No.
negative.
In what world I would never want to do that to anyone. You just, I understand why women don't say nothing, and I know God gave me the strength to just walk in so much confidence with sharing because you feel so helpless. If you never been through it, you feel so helpless. And when I was talking about what happened in September, somebody said, "Ain't no way if you kicking and screaming, a man can do that to you." And I just ain't even say nothing back. Like, don't never say what you would and wouldn't do in a situation because you don't know until you in that situation.
You do not know. You don't know.
And you feel helpless, your mind going a million miles per minute, your body trying to process what's going on, and at the same time you numb.
Hmm.
It's a million things going on, but at the same time, it's nothing's like time stop. So if anyone out there dealing with sharing and trying to come out, take your time, pray, let God heal you. And as long I didn't disclose names publicly, but my family know exactly who is who because as long as you protecting the predator, they gonna keep on preying on people. So you
That's
don't
true.
never have to publicly say it, but if you alert the people that this predator is around, pat yourself on the back because you are helping save somebody else that this predator may be preying on.
and learn how to listen. Like, I know I've tried to share before and trying to just get it out. That's hard. That's hard trying to tell it. Definitely when you have people that interrupt you when you're trying to talk, like I just shut it all the way down if you start doing that because that takes a lot. And then the response was, "Oh well, I had such and such happen to me, and but you wasn't sharing." You know what I'm saying? Don't use somebody else's moment to share your moment until they're finished. Like, recognize and acknowledge what they said. Like, if you come and tell me, Miss Sunshine, this happened, this happened, this happened, the right thing for me to do is to say, "Oh my gosh, I cannot believe," whatever, but make it about you at that moment. And then after you do that, if you have a similar thing that you feel led to share, to say, "Yes, I understand because I've been there. This also happened to me." But don't just automatically flip it to you, because that person is trying to share and it takes a lot. And I know that happened to me. I tried to share and it just bloop, went right to, "Oh yeah, because this is tried to do sister to me." And I told them, and that was the end of it. Like, really? I'm trying to get this off of me. So I think that's another reason why people fail to communicate what has happened to them, because of the responses or lack of that they get. Like, it's insignificant and it's not important. So when you do try to share, if you're shut down, you don't do it anymore anytime soon. So find you somebody that you know is a listener, that you know is a non, "I gotta go run tell it as soon as you finish telling it to me" person. That's who you share it with.
That's
Or get
right.
you a therapist. Because let me tell you something about relationships. They'll be good today and they're not so good tomorrow. So they're only good as long as they're good. You can find you some solid friends that are lifetime friends, but sometimes the people that you think are there, they're not really there. So take heed and be careful when you are sharing.
You right.
And we do have to be mindful when people are sharing not to interrupt, because you can be trying to not deflect from what the person's saying, but give them a, like, I've been through that, like in a comforting way, but that'll make a person shut down. Like, cause I'm guilty of doing that. If somebody be like, I'll be like, "Girl, that happened to me," in a comforting way, not in a way trying to make them deflect. But you never know in that moment how a person may feel, you know. So you have to be mindful. That's right, and just listen, because
Listen,
it'll make a person that's already shut down more.
it definitely does. And if you ask me too many questions, I shut down. If you're quiet and you listen, I'm more likely to talk. If you asking me all these questions, I'm more likely not to say a word. Just be like, not much at all. I don't have much to say at all. So it is important to learn how to have great listening skills because people
Mm.
need that, especially if they are anti-therapists. I think now more people are going to therapists without the stigma, but you still have some people that just refuse to go to a therapist. And so, therefore, it leads us to at least allow people to get it off of them to share, because the depression will try to set in. It'll be that little window, little crack in the window to get in and just have a field day in the mind.
That's right.
So, and we know, because I promise that battle been going on for a long time in my head, in my heart, and I have a live coming up, and I named it Trauma Tales, and it just came to me today, and I'm like, why did you call it that? And it's because trauma tells long before you open up your mouth and verbally communicate it to the world. It comes in the form of alcohol, promiscuous sex, overeating, workaholic, just all kinds of different ways that trauma tells. But are we paying attention, or are we passing judgment?
That's right.
So I know my trauma been talking long before I started talking, but it wasn't being identified as she's hurting. It was being identified as whatever was being said. So many different things, and not always nice things. Um, but at the end of the day, I kept a smile on my face. I still would come out smiling. I might walk in sad. My kids had to get the least of me. You go out. I saw this reel the other day, and the lady was telling the man, just lie to me. You go to work and you put on a happy face, but I get the least of you. I get the angry you. I get the don't feel like being bothered you. But when you go out, and that was me, and I had seen that behavior before, like that was familiar to me, where you treat people outside nicer than you do the people on the inside. So it's like I adopted that behavior, and now I'm doing damage control because of how I treated my children. And y'all know I said this, now I am transparent, more transparent about that. And but it was because of the abuse. Like it really was. And I know some people may say, y'all just make, trying to say that was the cause of everything. If it never happened to you, you don't understand. Because when you have multiple people taking advantage of your body and just using you up like you don't have any value, oh my gosh, like you start to believe just that. Like there's no value to you. But that is a lie. And you have to unlearn all of that and learn how to love you so that you can love other people wholeheartedly.
That's
Ooh,
right.
child. I'm done.
Me too.
I'm done. I'm gonna sleep good tonight, girl. This crying just drains you, and but I needed it. Like I needed this, and I hope and pray that this helps somebody else. And thank you, Myiah, for being transparent as always. When I met you, like I remember Vinny, she called me, girl, I got somebody I want you to meet. And here you just like Night Rider in the ghost, just come show up at the house, drop something off, leave, and then call me and say, go to the door. I'm like, this girl do not want me to meet her because she just dropping stuff off and then calling me. But I'm so thankful that Vinny introduced us, and I can't believe your story. It's still amazing to me. And the more you tell it, I just really be like, whew, nobody should have to go through all of that. But you survived, and you helping the rest of us.
Yep.
With your list, you look, you short in stature, but baby, bold and courageous, going out like David.
And I would like to.
Mm-hmm. Killing the giant. I'm telling you, you be like, "Ooh, is this for real? My assignment?" Yes, it is.
Yep.
So, all right, y'all. Well, Maya, you got anything else?
Nope.
You talked out, girl. That's all right. You did amazing. You
Nope.
did amazing. Well, y'all have a great night. Thank you for joining. I hope it blessed y'all. We love y'all so, 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 so much. And be on the lookout. Maya does have already printed and ready to ship the Blood Blocked It signed. And then there's also a journal that goes with the Blood Blocked It. And then in the works is going to be new pieces, and that one is truly going to be a blessing. And she done announced the Blood Blocked It 2 is going to be coming on out. And baby, we about to be catching flights. We got a book signing. Come on over here to Iowa, girl, and do a book signing in Des Moines.
Gonna
So,
be catching flights, honey.
catching flights. Or have a jet. How about that?
Yep.
Plural. Let me borrow that jet, girl. Love you too, Jennifer. Thank you. She said, I love y'all.
We love you too, Miss Jennifer.
Yes. Y'all have a great night. Go share a smile and spread some sunshine. Mwah.
Love y'all.
Good night. See y'all next time.